Dominant defenses. One thing for sure, those Cowboy offensive players are going to try and put a leash on those dogs today. We do have dominant defenses, and the Cowboys an outstanding offensive team. The one area in which Cleveland does not match up, they have 9 new faces on that offensive lineup. Their offense is going to have to play a great game today if they're going to stay with the Cowboys.
All right, Marty Schottenheimer, one of the newest members of the head coaching corps in the NFL, on the Cleveland Browns sidelines, and his opponent, the veteran, the dean of all NFL coaches, Tom Landry, now in his 26th season, the only head coach the Cowboys have ever had, and he's moving up on the list only one game ahead of Don Shula in the win column, as he is number 2 all time to George Halas.
Talking to Landry about his priorities, the first thing he mentioned, hanging on to the football. The Cowboys really gave away a game last week against Detroit, and it was turnovers that killed them, Dick.
Dallas gave the ball away the first 3 times, and often right on their own goal line, as the Lions beat the Cowboys 26-21. On the other hand, the Browns, fresh and eager after their impressive 17-7 win against the Steelers on Monday night. They will play a conservative game offensively, Marty Schottenheimer told us.
Marty's philosophy also centers around turnovers offensively. He said we can't afford to give that ball away. They basically will feature the running attack. They'll feature a play action passing game, and they'll play it a lot closer to the vest than the Dallas Cowboys.
Part of the Barr family, the kicking family in the NFL. Brother Chris, of course, with the Raiders. Matt will kick it off. He, by the way, working on a consecutive field goal string of 14 straight. And at the other end will be Robert Levette, the rookie on the left side from Georgia Tech, and John Williams, who played the last 2 years in the USFL. On a hot September Texas day, we're underway. And Barr nails it deep and out of the end zone. It hit the crossbar.
That was a field goal.
That was on its way to Waco. Danny White, a last word from Coach Landry. His backfield partners, Tony Dorsett, number 6 all-time in the NFL, and the big runner Timmy Newsome. Tony Hill moving rapidly on the all-time Cowboy list of receivers. Veteran Mike Renfro and an outstanding tight end Pro Bowler Doug Cosby. Phil Posderick, Glenn Titensor, Tom Rafferty, Kurt Peterson, and Jim Cooper, the blockers in front of White. White starting today despite a thumb injury. Hurt himself last week against the Lions. Both Hill and Renfro to the right, and Dorsett shifting into the tail of that eye. Dorsett. And he's knocked out of bounds after a gain of 5 at the 25. Don Rogers made the tackle. The Brown defense reads this way, and certainly one of the top defensive units in the NFL. Camp, who had 14 sacks last year, Bob Golick on the nose, and veteran Carl Hairston, the front 3. The linebackers, and some say the best group in the league, Chip Banks, Eddie Johnson, Tom Cousineau, and Clay Matthews back in the lineup. He did not play on Monday night. And the Dogs, the back 4, Minifield and Dixon at the corners, Gross and Rogers at safety. 2nd and 5. Newsome plowing for a couple to the 27. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Danny White, as he warmed up, looked as if he had a bandage on that right hand.
He's throwing the ball well, Dick, but you'll see as you view him from behind in warm-up that he has taped that thumb carefully. Now, one of the problems he's going to have, especially until that thumb gets warmed up, is gripping the football. And occasionally that ball gets away from him. If that happens in the ball game, he might get an interception. So that's one thing we can keep an eye on during the early going.
-2 touchdowns to intercepts here in 85, and out of the shotgun. 3rd down, 2.5. Over the middle and complete to Newsome. 1st down at the 32. Tom Cousineau and Clay Matthews with the tackle.
Newsome with added responsibility now that Ron Springs is gone. Tom Landry has talked for a long time about the great talent and potential of Newsome. Newsome is getting a chance to prove that now. He is the starter. He is in the ball game, and you can't talk about potential anymore. You got to talk about performance.
Haley carries 237 pounds out of that fullback position. Now lines up in front of Dorsett. Fake to Dorsett, the throw to Newsome, and he's down at the 33-yard line. Securing the tackle, Al Gross, number 27. Gross drafted by the Cowboys in 1983 in the 9th round, and he went to Tom Landry, said, hey, I can see the writing on the wall. You're not going to play me. Why don't you waive me now so I can get a chance early to hook on with someone else? And he went to the Browns and has been a fine player for them out of Arizona.
Well, as many new faces as we see in the Browns offensive lineup, this defensive lineup is basically the one that Marty Schottenheimer has put together over his tenure as the defensive coordinator, and they have played together for a long while.
Here they come, those cornerbacks right up on the line of scrimmage to give to Dorsett. 40, and Dorsett a first down at the 45 before Cousineau can drag him down.
It appeared that the Dallas Cowboys caught the Cleveland Brown defense slanting up on the line. This hole is much bigger than it should ordinarily be. Golick, the nose tackle, went away from the hole. Banks, Chip Banks, number 56, an outstanding linebacker, actually gets taken out of position by the tight end as he followed him inside, and Dorsett's quickness got him out of the play, and a good gain for him.
A dozen yards for Dorsett. First down pass to Tony Hill, and he is into Cleveland territory at the 49, and a flag is down. May have a face mask with it. Hill with 13 catches, tied with Doug Cosby for the club lead, and they'll get another 5 or more on the penalty.
Defense, number 27, face mask, 5 yards.
Fred Silva, the referee. They tack on 5 against Gross.
Right in the middle of your screen, coming up right by the 50-yard line, number 27, Gross, reaches in. It looked like he was going to miss the tackle, so he just reached up and hooked onto that mask.
First down, Cowboys at the Cleveland 48, make that the 43-yard line. Dallas taking the opening kickoff from the 20. Reggie Camp nearly offside. Newsom, and the big guy from Winston-Salem State, a school of 2,200 students, slamming inside the Cleveland 40. 6 more yards for Newsom.
The Dallas Cowboys offense had no trouble at all moving the ball last week against Detroit, but they ended up self-destructing, turning the ball over. They had several long drives, something they had not done during the preseason. Cowboys pleased with that, but today they'd like to make the drive and get the payoff and not turn the ball over.
Yeah, they like to work from that 2nd and 4, and it's Dorsett with a first down at the 30. Tony Dorsett moving closer and closer to the 10,000-yard rushing mark, number 6 best all time. Boy, what a sensational player he has been throughout high school, college at Pittsburgh, the Heisman winner, and as an All-Pro here in Dallas.
And it would certainly appear, Dick, that Landry and his play calling and his selection in this first series a little more conservative than he ordinarily is, really featuring that running attack and the short passes, maybe because of White's thumb.
First report from Atlanta. Denver scores first, 7-0 Broncos. The slant outside, it's Cosby, the tight end, and he goes out of bounds at the 23. Frank Minifield, the closest Brown, a gain of 7 for Cosby, Pro Bowler from Santa Clara. Had a big game last week against the Lions. Hill had 11 catches too, but all in a defeat.
Well, sometimes those statistics don't give you much solace. You know, wind up on the short end of the score.
Boy, it's hot on this side. The sun shining on the Cleveland side of Texas Stadium. Must be at least 10-15 degrees warmer. 2nd and 3. Dorsett again. Oh, what a tackle by Don Rogers, who sliced sharply from his safety position to bring down Dorsett just as he was breaking into the clear.
Rogers, one of the most aggressive safeties in the game. His idol when he was playing at UCLA was Kenny Easley of the Seattle Seahawks. Watch him come inside out on this play. And Dorsett, with all of his quickness, could not get away from Rogers, who took him to the turf, forced Dallas into a 3rd and 2 situation.
Big play for the Cowboys. 9:40 remaining first quarter. From the spread, incomplete, intended for Newsom. Coverage by Eddie Johnson, and that will force Raphael Septien and the field goal unit to come in for Dallas. Septien this year is 3 for 5. A career long, matching a career long of 53 yards, and he's a happy man because Septien, a native of Mexico City, knows that his family in that horrendous earthquake of this past week, his family all healthy, okay.
Was able to contact him through the help of one of those shortwave radio operators, a ham operator down there, and get a hold of them.
40-yard attempt. And the Cowboys are on the board first. Septien good from 40, and with 9:31 left first quarter, it's the Cowboys 3-0. Into that, I thought that worked out nice. Septien with a field goal. Garo Yepremian and Fred Cox, the only men with longer consecutive scoring streaks. And now it'll be Septien kicking deep to Glenn Young, former Eagle. And also on the wings are Reginald Langhorne and rookie Greg Allen.
On the wings of a former Eagle?
No pun intended. Young's going to take it out from a yard deep. Boy, he came out aggressively, and he's down at the 23-yard line. Former Mississippi State star. The Browns on the field for the first time. Gary Danielson with Ernest Miner and rookie Kevin Mack, a USFL product. Willis Adams and Fred Banks, a rookie, are the wide receivers, and one of the best Ozzie Newsome, the tight end. The blockers, and this is a rebuilt line. Mike Babb at center, a good one. George Lilja and Dan Fike, two new guards. Cody Reisenbach after the injury of last year, along with Paul Farron. Actually, 9 of the 11, as Merlin indicated at the start on that offensive set, are new people from last year. The quick hitter to Willis Adams across the 30, and a gain of about 8 before Mike Hegman can make the tackle for Dallas. Here, the white jersey defense of the Cowboys. The front four of Jones, Dutton, White, and Jeffcoat. Randy White, one of the greats, number 54. Look at a quick huddle by the Browns. We'll give you the rest of that Dallas secondary in a moment. Second down, a long one. Danielson with an audible. Biner. And Ernest Biner has the first down at the 37. Here then the rest of the Cowboy defense, the linebackers. Mike Hegman, the veteran, Eugene Lockhart, a second-year man, and Jeff Rohr out of Yale. And the back four of Everson Walls, Dennis Thurman at the corner, Thurman for Ron Fellows, and Dexter Klinkscale and Michael Downs at safety. Danielson wasting no time in the huddle, Merlin.
Well, the Browns are getting out. They're trying to keep the Dallas team defensively from substituting, trying to keep those packages on the sideline.
First down, Browns trailing 3-0. 8:11 left first quarter. Danielson, who has been running well all year, and he's to the 42-yard line. Danielson with over 80 yards, 83 to be exact, rushing in the first 2 games, averaging nearly 7 a carry. No huddle.
Right back to the line of scrimmage. This may force Dallas to play with the players on the field and not use their normal substitutions that they enjoy so much in special situations.
So Danielson, instead of taking them into the huddle, is calling his plays audibly. Everybody can hear.
This is like a 2-minute offense, Dick.
2nd and 5. Biner breaking a tackle. Good piece of running by Biner. He was trapped at the line of scrimmage, but the ex-Pirate at East Carolina is close to another first down.
A couple of things to think about. If they continue with this quick offense on a hot day like today, that means that both the Cleveland offense and the Dallas defense are going to get awfully tired without that usual break between plays.
The crowd comes into play now. See Danielson audibilizing. Boy, these people in Texas know their football. Didn't take them long to figure out, hey, we can be a part of this too. And by making noise, it takes away some of the audible effectiveness of Danielson, who appeals to Fred Silva.
This does something interesting to defensive coordinator Ernie Stotner. when he can't use his secondary, his adjustments in the secondary, his changes of linebackers, his 4-0 package, which is really a long yardage package, he's got to go with giving people out there who are not used to playing in those situations. And if the Browns could get away with it and continue with it, could really put the Dallas defense in a bit of a bind.
There's Stautner, ex-Steeler great. Now Danielson does not have to audibilize. He was able to go into the huddle. 3rd and 1. Kevin Mack joining Viner in the backfield. It's Mack, and with second effort may have picked up the first down. Pushed back by Clinkscale and Downs and several other Cowboys, but Mack on a good second effort. A young man from Clemson was the #1 pick in the supplemental draft, has the first down.
Watch Kevin Mack from his fullback position now adjusting. He stopped well behind the line, but kept his feet moving, kept his body going forward, and picked up enough to pick up that first down. But as you said, Dick, purely second effort. He was stopped well behind the line the first time.
Mack out, and the lone running back Ernest Viner behind Danielson. First down at the Cleveland 47. Viner knocked down by Mike Higman. Higman guessed the right time to dog, and it was he that was barking on that play.
The Cowboys love to blitz, and here the crowd is again, trying to drown out the audibles from Danielson. We talk about home field advantage. One of the advantages you have at home is that it's your crowd, and they can get into the game. They certainly have done it here.
You know, as you look at Danielson, the back of Danielson, see the lower right side of his helmet? Well, it's on all the helmets. And it's a caution. It's a warning like you'd get on any package in the store that there's something that they feel is dangerous about that product. Well, they even have a caution on the helmet. Well, there's the home court, the home field advantage of the Cowboys here at Texas Stadium. They've won 80% of their games. Second down and 12. Danielson down in the grasp of Too Tall Jones. Eleven-year veteran from Tennessee State. When they picked him as the very first man drafted in '74, they got a winner.
Watch Too Tall from the right side of your screen, right over the top of Cody Rison, 63. And Danielson, had he seen him in time, I think could have gotten away because Too Tall was falling, but he just fell with that 6'9" frame all over Danielson.
Giants take the early lead against the Cardinals, 7-0. Now third down and long. Danielson from the shotgun. That's Newsome in motion. Good protection. Oh, breaks down now. Dexter Clinkscale, the safety man, in on a blitz. And even with his help, there's a flag down, by the way. Terrific coverage downfield. Maybe too good. There's a flag deep in the Dallas secondary.
There may have been a penalty on the secondary. If so.
Before the snap, the 30-second clock had expired. We have delay, number 18, 5-yard penalty. The down remains the same.
So take away the sack, and the Browns actually benefit from the delay of game.
Well, I don't know if they've benefited that much. They do get another opportunity, but this is the situation that Marty Schottenheimer fears most because his offensive line really hasn't come together yet. They've had 9 sacks so far in the season. 6 last week against Pittsburgh. They've had 2 so far in this game. They cannot protect their quarterback in these must-pass situations.
Danielson down 11 times in 2 games and a quarter. Draw play, and it doesn't work. Viner for just a yard as Victor Scott, number 22, and Randy White made the hit. And in comes the kicking team for Cleveland. Jeff Gossett will punt it away. Deep, Bill Bates and Speedy Gonzalez, Leon Gonzalez, at the 25 of Dallas. Gossett, a former New York Mets baseball infielder in the minor league system, kicks it away. Good looking kick. Bates, fair catch. A late fair catch at the 23-yard line. And staring up into that open roof and into the Dallas sun. Timeout with 4:22 left in the quarter. That made it interesting. Welcome back to Texas Stadium in Dallas. Big Hamburg with Merlin Olsen. 4 minutes 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Cowboys lead 3-0 on an official 39-yard field goal by Septien. Browns had the ball for 5 minutes and could not score. This is Dorsett straight ahead for 2 yards. Other scores early on this third week of the NFL season. Pittsburgh leading Houston 7-0 in the first quarter. And the Eagles a field goal against Washington. The other scores that we gave you earlier: Giants 7-0 against the Cardinals, and the Broncos lead the Falcons 7-0. A John Elway 63-yard touchdown pass to Vance Johnson for the Broncos score. On 2nd and 8. Quite a screen to Dorsett. Well executed, and it appears good enough for a first down as they struggle to pull that ball free. 8 yards for Dorsett.
Anytime you run a screen pass, you try and spread out that defense and then let the defensive lineman inside. Dorsett has to do some play acting here. Watch him fake the block, just float to the outside, and then use his running skills after that to pick his way for the first down. Number 57, Clay Matthews, the linebacker, has to respond to this. He's got to sort through that mess. That's Rafferty, 64, with the block there. He does a ballerina twist, but does not get part of the tackle on that play.
White to Cosby, and the tight end has a first down at the Cleveland 47. Don Rogers with a tackle, and White hit as he was throwing.
Danny White said before the game, he said, the one thing I can't afford to do is to take a shot on that thumb. Now, I don't know if he hit his thumb or if he just got leveled, but he is in pain right now. Trainers and doctors quickly out from the sideline.
Gary Hogeboom, the backup quarterback, and of course part of the controversy here in Dallas, the quarterback who you like most, and boy, White showing the pain in his face. We have a timeout in Dallas. We'll return with the Cowboys leading 3-0, 2:45 left in the quarter.
I don't think he did either.
His knee,
it looks like his stomach. Looked like he just had himself knocked. Yeah. I think we'll see him after this play. Let's do that AFC NFC record for the Cowboys. That record versus the AFC. And then let's also get that that post Monday night stat in. Get that out of the way if we can. Well, in the injuries, they expect to take some time, I think.
Gary Hogeboom from Central Michigan in a quarterback for Danny White. White did not appear seriously hurt. Hogeboom guns and completes. Cosby at the 28. First down. Now let's see if White comes back in. As he left the field, he appeared to be okay. The wind knocked out of him was the word we've received from the Dallas sidelines. But with that strike by Hogeboom, nope, that'll be a one-play opportunity. And White comes in. 2-minute exchange greetings.
That's the crowd may respond to that. Among the fans here and even among the players, they have their own favorites, and of course that really split this Cowboy team apart last year. Landry wants to avoid that at all costs if he can during this season.
Hill to the right, Renfro left on first down at the Brown 29. 3-0 Cowboys. Timmy Newsome Ducks into the 24-yard line, a gain of 5. Let's go to Bob Costas in NFL 85. Indeed, that's news that you've been hiding from us, Merlin. 2nd down and 5. The give to Dorsett. And he's down shy of the 1st down. Tom Cousineau making the tackle. The Cowboys have relished their opportunities against the American Football Conference. That is the best of any NFC team. 35 wins, only 14 defeats as they meet the Browns of the American Conference today.
As impressive as that stat is, I think the Cowboys' record against all opponents is pretty much in the same proportion during that time frame, Dick.
Big 3rd and 2 for the Cowpokes with White in the shotgun. Tony Hill, 1st down at the 17. Hanford Dixon made the tackle.
They go after the top dog. Tony Hill working on Dixon, doing an excellent job of going up to pull down a rather high pass. He paid a price for that, and as he hit the ground, you almost could feel a little wince on the sideline over there from Tom Landry.
That's the end of the 1st quarter in Texas. The Cowboys lead 3-0.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Show me what you got when we get them lined up. And we'll see with the running game there. They'd love to do that.
As was the case last week in Detroit, the Cowboys dominating the statistics, although they didn't come home with a win from the Lions, and so it is in the 1st quarter today.
They also have done what they started out to do today. They have been able to control the football running. They have not turned the ball over, and they have forced Cleveland into must-pass situations that they've been able to capitalize on.
Leading 3-0 and a 1st down at the Cleveland 17. Dorsett to the 10. Chip Banks with a hit after a 7-yard pickup. Last week, these were the numbers. 33 1st downs to 13. 554 yards. 40 completed passes. Well, but the most important statistic, the bottom line, Dallas had 21 points and Detroit 26.
Shows you what can happen if you throw the football into someone else's hands and drop it on the ground.
From the 10-yard line, the Cowboys trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Touchdown, Cosby. The tight end has his first touchdown of 85. A 10-yard bullet from Danny White.
Big Doug Cosby, such a reliable tight end, so professional in his approach to the game, finds the open space in the end zone, comes away with a TD. Good pass by Danny White, too.
Out of Hogaboom's hold, Septien to try the point after. It is just good as he hooked it inside the upright. Timeout. 1 minute gone. 2nd quarter.
Play it for me. Play it for me, please. On that last play, Timmy Newsome right here in motion will just swing out to try and clear a zone, and Doug Cosby from his position will go down and stop and then just hook into the end zone to pick up that pass. Very nice execution by the Cowboys here as they find an open hole in the zone, and an excellent pass by Danny White to take advantage of the Cleveland defense.
Cosby on the receiving end. He's 4 grabs already here in the first half. And now Septien to kick it off. 10-0 Dallas leads early in the second quarter. Glenn Young, the deep man again for the Browns. And it's Young 2 yards into his own end zone. And he gets it back to the 20, and a flag goes down with it. Dexter Clinkscale, number 47, with the tackle along with Everson Walls. Check the penalty. And then we'll go back and look at that touchdown throw again. White to Cosby. Against the Browns, and that'll take it back to the 10-yard line.
On the return, number 58, holding. It'll be first down.
Scott Nicholas. Here's the touchdown play from the end zone perspective of Don Rogers trying to cover.
These Cleveland Brown defensive backs favor the man-to-man coverage. They do not like playing in that zone. It was the zone that burned them in that situation.
Now the Browns trailing 10-0, start from their own 10-yard line. Biner runs into Randy White, the 7-time All-Pro defensive tackle of the Cowboys. White, #1 pick out of Maryland 10 years ago.
Dick, one thing that I have really been pleased to see, do you remember the old frog stance that these Cowboy defensive linemen used to use? That used to drive me bananas because I knew that they couldn't move out of it like you can out of a 3-point stance. Well, they finally jumped it. They're in a 3-point stance now, and I think it really helps people like Randy White, helps that whole defensive line.
Well, now he's in it this
Randy's
time.
gone to it, hasn't he?
Danielson to Ozzie Newsome, and a first down at the 25-yard line. The Wizard of Oz from Alabama. Newsome's 11th catch of the season.
This is a man that you've got to have your eyes on. He's one of the people they're so conscious of, coming all the way across the field. Eugene Lockhart, middle linebacker, 56, the man trying to pick him up there, trying to get in front of him. Big Oz got his hands on the ball. He is a fine athlete, great receiver.
It was a good throw by Danielson in traffic. Barry Holt replacing Newsome. Biner through a small crack out to the 30 and a gain of 5. Mike Hegman with a tackle. Biner from East Carolina, the leading rusher for the Browns, coming in with 150 yards. Last year gained 426. And the whole rebuilding of this offense by Marty Schottenheimer gone. Mike Pruitt, many, many others.
One of the people we should talk about, Cody Rising, is a new face for this year. He was hurt all of last year, but he is a veteran lineman.
Kevin Matt has a first down for Cleveland to the 37-yard line. +7. Jeff Rohr with a tackle. Pittsburgh leading Houston 7-0 in the first quarter. Let's run down all of the early action. Giants and Cardinals are now tied at 7. So is Denver and Atlanta, as you heard from that last report at NFL 85. Philadelphia 3-0 lead against the Redskins. San Diego draws first blood at Cincinnati. New England leading 3-0 against the Bills. Here it's 10-0 Dallas. First down Browns at the 37. Biner hit hard by John Dutton, the veteran from Nebraska, after a 3-yard gain. Two other scores for you. New Orleans leads early against the Buccaneers 7-0. And Indianapolis 7, Detroit 0. The Colts home opener.
Ernest Biner kind of reminds you of Robert Newhouse, doesn't he? Used to play here.
Same number.
A bowling ball with legs, they used to say, and that powerful, stocky upper body. Not the most shifty guy in the world, but boy, he's hard to bring down.
This is Kevin Matt. He is 6 feet 212. And Biner is only 5'10", but weighs 215 pounds. So actually the halfback in the Cleveland system is a more fullback build than is the fullback himself, Mack.
Well, they're impressed with the physical ability of Mack out of the USFL after 2 years experience. Fine pass receiver too.
Now we saw the Oilers last week in their close but no win effort at Washington, and they tied Pittsburgh 7-all. Third down, 3. Danielson tipped and incomplete. Victor Scott covering on Biner, but someone got their hand up.
You also notice that the Cleveland Browns have abandoned their no huddle strategy because of the crowd noise and allowed now the Cowboys to shift all of those substitutes onto the field in long yardage situations, special situations, and the Cowboys have shut them down here again.
Jeff Gossett to kick for the second time with Leon Gonzalez and Bill Bates deep. Boy, this is tough to feel. If you look up into that sunshine, it's Gonzalez, a late wave, and he takes the fair catch at the 13. Gonzalez, coached by Bates, was saying, fair catch the ball to the rookie, a 42-yard punt.
Came close.
Today's game is brought to you by National Car Rental. When you rent a car for business or pleasure, you deserve national attention. By Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by Owens Corning. Our building products put your house in the pink.
10 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Cowboys with the ball again and a 10-0 lead. They start from their 13-yard line. Danny White has had an outstanding first half. Dorsett hurdling to the 20. It'll be 2nd and 3. Dorsett has been a great player, living up to all of the expectations, and of course the Cowboys had to trade draft choices with Seattle to get the rights to pick him, the second player picked back in 1977, and seems a certainty to become only the 6th man in NFL history to gain 10,000 plus yards on the ground. He's caught over 300 passes as well. Newsome bowling for the first down to the 25-yard line. 9:29 left first half. Let's go to New York. All right, Bob, here it's 10-0. The Cowboys leading Cleveland, and we do have a correction on another score. There it is. Pittsburgh leads Houston 14-0. It's not 7-7 as we first reported.
Well, they've taken another touchdown away from Houston.
Boy, it's been a bad September for them. There's Dorsett falling on the ball and had thoughts about getting up again, but Eddie Johnson was there for the Browns back at the 20-yard line, and I know that brought a lot of hearts into the Dallas throats because that's what they did against the Lions last week.
Dorsett is a very sure-handed handler of the ball. Let's see what happens here. I think he just took his eye off of it, and that's, you know, it's interesting. Professionals make the same mistakes that the kids do on the sandlot. They try and run with that ball occasionally before they really catch it. Dorsett did it there and ended up dropping it, having to cover it.
There's the crown of the field here at Texas Stadium.
Literally, you're looking uphill. It's quite a hump, well over a foot in the center difference from the sides.
White has had a bit. Oops! That ball tosses out of the hands of Cosby, incomplete. But Cosby is fortunate as he batted that ball high in the air that did not go for a Cleveland touchdown.
Dick, just reflecting on the crown of this field, it means that anytime you're going to the outside, you're really running downhill. And a quarterback throwing a pass to the outside has to kind of adjust for that. Of course, the Cowboys are used to that, but with a lot of flat stadiums, you really have a difference. Cos not getting his hands on that one.
Giants now lead the Cardinals 10-7 in the second, and Philadelphia adds a field goal to their lead at Washington. Third down and 16. White underneath to Newsom, but that'll be short of the first down at the 31. Eddie Johnson on the coverage, and for the first time, Mike Saxon will come in to punt for the Cowboys. Give White 12 more yards. He's had 9 for 11 and 72 yards in this first half.
Danny White, of course, was the punter here for many years, but Landry felt that that might be one of the things that was putting extra pressure on White. So he got Mike Saxon. And here in Saxon, you saw the numbers, very impressive here in his first full season of kicking.
Expatriate Clarence Weathers at the 22 of the Browns. Saxon line drive. Weathers on the run at the 25 and steps out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Now the Browns have the ball with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left in the half. The Cowboys lead 10-0.
I need the shoes. Okay, give me a. Where's my?
Why don't you say the shoes and do the hound thing here?
Oh,
we'll talk
the
about
hounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the Redskins had their grunters, the hogs, and now the Browns have the dogs, and they're barking. Did you ever make any noises, animal noises?
Well, occasionally we would howl at the quarterbacks if we were bringing the dogs after them, and it was a way of saying we're coming after you. But I don't think we did it quite as much as this Cleveland defense.
So when you were blitzing or dogging, you would howl, let that quarterback know something was coming, huh? Now the Browns down 10-0, and Danielson has a man open, but unable to bring down the ball with Fred Banks. Banks unable to grab that one. Would have been a good gainer. Let's go to Bob Costas, NFL 85. So the Steelers trying to rebound from their 17-7 loss at Cleveland on Monday night. 2nd and 10. Biner for about 5. Through a block thrown by the center Mike Babb from the University of Texas. Babb, number 61.
Yeah, in the middle of that line, you see Paul Farron, 74, coming across the trap. Babb getting his hands full of Randy White's jersey. And there's a quote from Doug English, the nose tackle last week the Cowboys were playing against. He said, Babb is stronger than 9 acres of Texas onions.
You should know English is from Texas as well. 3rd and 5. Timeout. Willis Adams, who was the wide receiver to the left, seemed to be yelling back at Danielson. Then Danielson said, we'll call time.
Browns have lost their timeouts in the last few weeks from mistakes like that, and that could be costly at the end of this half.
You know, Banks there again. He should have caught that ball, shouldn't he?
Yeah, let's talk about that. We didn't have time to do it because. All right, we've done the little thing with Babb. Let's do Ozzie. I mean, I'm concerned that we may yeah. Let's do Ozzie first. Let's try and get a telestrator shot of Ozzie in motion too. All right.
The other shot that we can get any time, but Kozar, we should kind of show him there sometime. He's got the orange jacket on. These are long timeouts.
Wow. Yeah, well, with one thing, fewer of them though.
Cleveland Browns a critical 3rd down and 5 at their 35, trailing 10-0. Danielson. Good job of ad-libbing, and Jones chases him out of bounds at the 45. A 9-yard ad-lib run by Danielson, and his work in that regard has been a key to Cleveland's offense the last 2 weeks.
It's also a very dangerous thing for a quarterback to have to run around, and you always look for flags after a run like this. Look at him sift through the pocket, gets away right there from John Dutton, still wanted to throw the ball. He can feel Too Tall Jones, number 72, on his tail, takes it out of bounds for the 1st down.
Larry Cirillo, our producer, we've saved that play. I'd like to look at that again from another perspective if we could. 1st downs today, Cowboys much more successful. Here's the 1st down run by Kevin Mack, and a flag is down. And Mack all the way to the Dallas 43-yard line before Eugene Lockhart can make the tackle. Let's go back to the play before, because as a defensive lineman, you can appreciate the effort here of Ed Jones. Watch Jones coming in 72. Now he will miss Danielson the 1st time, but won't give up.
He goes all the way around. Great polar route there as he comes all the way behind and hustles. And that's the kind of thing that coaches appreciate. On that last play here, Jim Jeffcoat, number 77, was being held by Paul Farron. Farron got a couple of costly calls last week on holding, and right now that sets the Cleveland Browns back a 10-yard count. They got a 1st down and 20 yards to go.
Biner, and there's Too Tall. Well, he's been on the scent, and he was in the right place for the Cowboy defense. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience.
Big 72. He played the first 2 weeks of this season with a partial hamstring injury. Didn't say a lot about it, but Ernie Stotner said yesterday, he said, I think he's ready to cut loose. Well, Ernie, you're right.
Any rebroadcast, other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. 2nd and long. Oh, Newsom bobbles the ball and then is batted down himself at the 35-yard line. Ricky Eastman, number 42, in on the tackle. It is a forward pass, and a flag is down. And another hold against the Cleveland Browns. Short game. We'll see whether the Cowboys take the play. No, they'll take the 10 more yards back.
Landry has to be pleased.
Offense, number 74. Holding.
Oh, back-to-back holding calls on Paul Farron. I talked to Howard Mudd, who's the offensive line coach for this Cleveland Brown offensive line, and he said, you know, we've got a lot of youngsters in there, and we're going to make our mistakes, and we're going to take our lumps, especially when you're playing against a team like the Cowboys. But he said it's the only way we can learn. We've got to have the time, and we've got to play through those mistakes. But this is a big, strong, young offensive line, and given time, I think they're going to be an excellent unit. But right now, they're giving their offensive coordinator all kinds of fits.
Still haven't marked off the penalty, and now that exercise is completed to the 21-yard line. Still 2nd down, but half a section to go.
Well, if you're Joe Pendray on the sideline, the man who's responsible for putting an offensive plan together, I don't know if you can find many plays for this situation, Dick.
Danielson's best play has been the scramble. Underneath the Biner. Some good running by Biner. Gets some blocks. 30. And he's out to the 40-yard line. That'll be a long way from the 1st down, but gets a lot of the yardage back. Glenn Young, 84. A wide receiver threw a good block downfield.
This is the kind of thing that can happen when you get an offense spread out. I don't believe this is a planned play. I think Biner's an outlet receiver, but there's pressure on Danielson. He finally just drops it inside. That's a couple of good blocks here. A miss by Victor Scott. Babb gets a block on Klink scale. Good block right there by Glenn Young, 84. They finally tackle him. That seems like a long ways to go to get to 3rd and 12.
Actually, 3rd and 15.
3rd and 15. Yeah.
Got a man downfield. And Glenn Young is close to a first down as he curled back and has it. Yep, at the 45 of Dallas. So they overcame a 2nd down and 33.
Credit that one to a defensive player who, in tackling him, actually drove him past the yard stripe. Danielson gets the ball. He's about 4 yards short here. But watch it right now. Victor Scott, 22, hits him from behind and drives him over the line. That's where good tackling costs them a first down there. It costs them a chance to force a kick.
First down for the Browns, and quite a recovery from 2 holding penalties and a sack. Trailing 10-0. Kevin Mack, a hard-earned yard. We pause briefly for station identification from Texas. This is the NBC television network. Texas Stadium in Irving, outside of Dallas, on a hot, humid afternoon. The temperature around 90 degrees, but much warmer than that down on the playing surface. Other scores. New Orleans with a 14-3 lead over the Buccaneers of Tampa Bay, and in the second quarter, Buffalo takes a 7-3 lead against New England. 2nd and 9. Cleveland trailing Dallas 10-0. Biner, one of the Cowboys, ran right by him. I believe it was Ed Jones who was going after the quarterback, and Biner just ducked right under him and picks up 7.
A little misdirection play by the Cleveland offense coming back against the grain, and that's the kind of play that works well against the flex defense. Really, Landry's defenses are designed to stop the run first. They flow very well with the play, and occasionally, if you cut it back against the grain, you can pick up a nice gain, as they did there.
3rd and 3. Biner again, and he has the first down at the 33-yard line. So this is the best drive for the Cleveland Browns, and it comes at the 2-minute timeout. 2 minutes left, first half. Dallas 10, Cleveland nothing. What was that 3rd down? What was the worst they were there? It was 2nd and 30 what? 2nd and 33. Okay.
I'd still like to get that Aussie
where were they?
in motion there.
2nd and 33 at the
I know. I
at the 21.
Yeah, let's try and get that. If on a nothing play, let's talk about the reason that they do that kind of thing. And
they got the first down at the Dallas 45.
I know.
Yeah.
The other thing we'll get from that position possibly is all right. Okay. I've got a punt. You got a punt formation there for me. Good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's nice. It's stickier than 8th grade algebra here in Irving, Texas. Cleveland Browns with 2 minutes remaining in the first half, a chance to take a bite out of the 10-0 Cowboy lead. Danielson throwing on first down. That's a rarity, and he has a man wide open. Glenn Young. down to the 3-yard line, a 30-yard throw. Young, his first catch of this season coming in this game. He did not catch a ball in the first 2 encounters against the Cardinals and the Steelers.
Young is isolated on Dennis Thurman, 32. Thurman had played cornerback earlier in his career, has been playing safety for a long while, does not really have the foot speed to stay up with Glenn Young. And you see how far he was off of Young when Young made his break. It figured that they would try to isolate man-to-man on Thurman. They do it here. They come up with a big play.
Ron Fellows, the regular corner, is out with a bad knee. He's not in uniform. First and goal at the 3. Whoops. Danielson to Biner, and Danielson lucky that he got the ball to his running back as he tripped, turning to make that handoff.
That's the kind of play that Danny White made last week to cause a fumble inside of Detroit's goal line area. It looked like he caught the heel of his offensive lineman. That was Dan Fike, the big guard, and actually had to stagger back. Now that's dangerous to hand it off. Last week, Danny White tripped over Glenn Titensur 3 different times.
And the Browns, once inside the opponent's 20, have a perfect record, 27 scores, field goal or touchdown. Now it is second and goal. Danielson in trouble. It's intercepted. Everson Walls. And so Walls has his 3rd interception of the year, and that Cleveland streak of scoring inside the 20 comes to an end.
It looked like Danielson was hit from behind just as he delivered that pass. It might have been Michael Downs, 26, coming from the backside. And watch him here. It is number 26, Downs. He hit him just as he delivered that ball. And I think he might have been just trying to throw that ball away.
Ozzie Newsome all alone in the end zone, but Danielson was fighting for his life, could not find his ace receiver. So it remains 10-0, and Dallas on Wall's interception. He's trying to become the first man in NFL history to lead the league in interceptions 3 times. He led as a rookie and as a second-year man. Now it's a matter of the Cowboys hanging onto the football and run out the final minute of this first half with a 10-0 lead.
Dick, we focused in on Tony Dorsett a little earlier. It's interesting to me that even though he held out, stayed out of camp, was late coming in, he really is in excellent shape. It looks like he's making all of his moves. He looks strong. It's not unusual to see a player who's missed part of camp really be kind of shaky at this point. Not so Dorsett.
After Monday night games, and of course Cleveland playing on Monday night, nearly 54% of the time those teams win. There's a kind of a theorem around that you don't win after a Monday night game. The actual statistics prove that not to be so.
Well, I think often we talk about a team being at a disadvantage with that short week of preparation. And yet, if you look at that number, not only are they not at a disadvantage, but that includes all the winners and the losers go on to win more than half of their games.
Okay. All right.
He's got those clicking sounds to go along with it.
Well, I think that play right there, that
interception, I think.
You know, that's a nice replay too, because Randy White is knocked down and you see him grabbing it. I mean, trying to get Danielson from down on his back before Downs does get to him. Stay tuned at halftime. NFL 85 with all the scores and top plays of the early games today. You see Paul McDonald now relegated to the number 3 quarterback position. Gary Danielson there, number 18. And of course, Bernie Kosar, the heralded rookie from Miami. And Marty Schottenheimer answered our question yesterday. What happens if Danielson is injured? He said no hesitation. Bernie Kosar is the quarterback. Third down and 5. Dorsett into Cousineau's grasp, and immediately time called by the Browns with 14 seconds. So Cleveland will have a final chance. And Merlin, here is a spot, if nothing else, with 14 seconds left on a punt, a fair catch by the Browns. they could get the ball around the 50 and then be allowed a free kick at a field goal. I don't know if that's what Schottenheimer's thinking about, but
Well,
that's a possibility.
The other possibility is to try and block the punt. And the Browns, for the first time since 1975, when Turkey Jones got a piece of one, Chris Rockins got a piece of a punt last week against Pittsburgh. So Marty has his choice. The kick will come from the end zone, and indeed you might get that kind of fair catch opportunity. Barr, as you remember, kicked the ball all the way from his own 35 and made a field goal on his opening kickoff.
We'll keep our eye on 37 Rockins. He'll be lined up on the defensive left side as Mike Saxon, drafted by the Lions last year out of San Diego State, the punter for Dallas, will kick from around his goal line.
You might see the combination of the rush as well as an attempt for the free kick here.
Clarence Weathers deep for the Browns at the 41. There's the fair catch possibility, but he doesn't come up and get it. Takes the bounce and goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. There's a chance there with a gamble. He could have had that ball about at the 50-yard line, and then you have to line up 10 yards apart and give the field goal kicker a chance at the free kick. 4 seconds left in the half. A 50-yard punt and a 6-yard return for Weathers. So a desperation chance for the Browns to try one long one.
Browns have not been utilizing 3 wide receivers. Of course, they have young receivers, but they traditionally stay with their 2 tight end or single tight end setups, even in the long yardage. Let's see what they've done here. No, they'll go for 3 wide receivers all together, I think hoping for a penalty downfield.
Langhorne, Young, and Banks all lined up on the right side, and then a long toss. Young's the closest man. Oh, does he pay the price for it as Michael Downs in there to break it up for the Cowboys along with Dennis Thurman. The end of the first half, and the Cowboys leading the Browns 10-0. Well, 60,000 plus in Texas Stadium this afternoon, but yesterday it was quiet. Just a few folks on hand as Tom Landry and the Cowboys took the 1985 team photo. Here, we were there as well. Here they get themselves all set up. You notice how they're lined up according to numbers, 60, 62. Young fan there. She had last year's team picture, and that's how it will look when the Cowboy fans get theirs. And then the fun begins. They take their own picture.
I think they had more fun after the official picture by far than they did beforehand.
Steve Dawsey wondering what this is all about. Let's go back to what obviously was the most important play for the Cleveland Browns and maybe the Cowboys in the first half. The Browns driving, a chance to pull within 10-7, and then the play by Michael Downs, also by Randy White.
A chance really to get back into this game. Randy White, number 54, clawing at his feet from the backside, 26 downs, and it looked like that ball had a chance maybe to be thrown deep. I just think he wanted to throw it away, but the back of the shot in his back dropped it right into the hands of Everson Walls.
And so the Cowboys maintain their 10-0 lead, and if
dominate a game because of his physical size, you get a feeling right there for the kind of cold air he's looking for. This second half, by the way, with that sun creeping across the field and the heat escalating, and the heat will be held in this carpet, could be a big problem for some of the bigger men. First half statistics, as you might expect, an edge to the Cowboys, but not nearly as much so as we saw in the first quarter. Now, much of that difference coming on